How to form an LLC in South Dakota. When starting a new company, choosing a business entity is one of the most important decisions that you make. For most businesses with more than one founding member, forming an LLC is often the best option. Before we begin, let's quickly define what an LLC is. An LLC stands for Limited Liability Company and is an uncomplicated business structure that gives business owners legal protection by separating personal assets from business debts. Creating an LLC can get complicated depending on where you're based, as the process differs from state to state. To avoid any missteps, follow along as we show you how to form an LLC in South Dakota. The first step in forming an LLC is to select a name. There are two major guidelines to follow when naming your LLC in South Dakota. 1. Your name must differ from the business entities on file with the South Dakota Secretary of State. 2. Your name must include one of the following words or abbreviations: Limited Liability Company or LLC. LLCs may also contain the abbreviations LTD and Co. for the words limited and company, respectively. You can check the availability of your selected name on the South Dakota Secretary of State website. If your name is available, you should consider reserving it to prevent other businesses from using it before you can file your articles of organization. You can file a reservation form with the South Dakota Secretary of State to reserve the name for up to 120 days. Note there is a fee. Check the description below for more details. Step 2. Designate a registered agent. As in most U.S. states, forming an LLC in South Dakota requires the appointment of a registered agent service. A registered agent is an individual or a company that acts as your official point of contact in the state to receive legal documents, service of process, and other communications from the state. It is their job to forward these documents and communications to your LLC in a timely manner. A registered agent also helps save time mailing documents and keeps your address and other personal information private. Your registered agent must meet the following requirements. 1. Must be a state resident with a street address in South Dakota. 2. Have a business office in South Dakota if located out of state. Check out the description below for recommended registered agent services that can guide you through this entire process. Step 3. File Articles of Organization. Next, file your Articles of Organization with the South Dakota Secretary of State. Doing this formally establishes your LLC. The Articles of Organization must provide the following details: LLC's name and address, registered agent name and address, whether the LLC is member managed or manager managed, whether one or more LLC members will be liable for LLC debts, whether the LLC is perpetual or has an end date, the names and addresses of all LLC organizers, the signature of one LLC organizer. The filing can be completed online or through the mail. Note that there is a fee. Check the description below for more details. Next is to create the operating agreement. An operating agreement does the following: describe your business structure, establish the individual responsibilities and obligations of the LLC members, detail how your LLC will be run. Although South Dakota doesn't require one, an operating agreement clarifies the duties of its members, which may help your LLC avoid significant legal and operational difficulties. Step 5. Get an EIN. Before your company is ready to start doing business, you must obtain an IRS Employer Identification Number, EIN, by applying on the IRS website. The 9-digit EIN is like a social security number for a business and is necessary for things like paying income tax, filing tax returns, opening business bank account. You can apply for an EIN on the IRS website. Finally, make sure to complete all additional legal requirements. File an annual report. All South Dakota LLCs must file an annual report with the Secretary of State. You will receive a reminder 30 days before the report is due. The annual report can be filed online or through the mail. Pay taxes. LLCs that collect sales tax on retail goods and services and LLCs with employees must register with the Department of Revenue to fulfill state tax obligations. You can register with the Department of Revenue online. Acquire additional licenses. South Dakota LLCs may be required to obtain one or more state or local business licenses depending on their type of business and location. The Governor's Office of Economic Development has more information on state business licensing requirements. For information on local licensing requirements, contact the city or county clerk in the area where your LLC is based. So, to sum it up, how to form an LLC in South Dakota. Select a name, designate a registered agent, file your Articles of Organization, create an operating agreement, obtain an employer identification number. Finally, fulfill your legal obligations, particularly those relating to submitting annual reports, registering for state taxes, and applying for any additional licenses you may need. By completing these steps, you can form an LLC in South Dakota. All the websites mentioned earlier are located in the description below and a link to a guide. Thanks for watching. Be sure to check out our other videos answering your questions about all things LLC.